tere tulemast tagasi Tartu Ülikooli Delta Management Schooli stuudiosse siia lahedas Tartu linnas STARTUPDAY Vibe'is EXPO alal. Just äsja nägite te video ühe vahva asja avamisest. Tegemist oli Creative Destruction Labi Eesti harukontori avamisega, mis on oma sugemed seadnud Tartu Ülikooli. Kuid meil on ka välismaalasi stuudio, siis me läheme siit üle inglise keele peale, et see 10 minutit on inglise keeles. So welcome to Tartu University Delta Management School studio at Startup Tartu Entrepreneurship Festival. We are here to introduce you a Creative Destruction Lab, which, as far as I know, is a sort of a boosting startup companies in deep tech areas, sort of. And we have guests from both from Tartu University management and economics side, and as well from Toronto University, as I understand. But let's start, Kadri, with you. What is CDL?
Oh, geez. It depends to whom I should tell this. I mean, for startups, it is a good accelerator which doesn't take any equity and has no ticket. You have to be very good to get in, and you get good mentoring. But for normal people, I would say that CDL is a kind of accelerator hosted in the networks of universities that is using world-class mentors and world-class scientists to help startups to go to the market and scale up very quickly.
We have actually our value proposition of a Delta Management School is we empower your dreams.
All right.
Does it help in this?
Absolutely.
Students,
I mean, not only students, but if somebody has started already a firm, then obviously they have kind of idea how they want to improve the world. And we are helping them to realize their idea. We help them with advice. We also introduce to them some investors. So it's kind of help in all kinds of ways.
Francesco,
Yeah.
Creative Destruction Lab started from Toronto University 10 years back. What it was at that time and what it is today?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I think we just finished our 10th year of Creative Destruction Lab in Toronto. So it was one site in Toronto. We're now, 10 years later, we now have 12 sites, including with our great friends in Estonia, here in Tartu, in this wonderful country. We initially started, I think it was with a boardroom table with maybe 7 mentors, so it was a very small affair. And now we've got hundreds of mentors across the world. On any given session day, you might have a room with 70 or 80 mentors. And I think collectively, over our 10 years, our companies have created roughly $20 billion worth of estimated value. And so these are seed stage science-based startups. In many cases, we have technical founders who are scientists with no business expertise at all. And many have been converted into massively scalable companies. And we've created many unicorns as well. And so again, very happy to be here in Estonia, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next.
How did you discover Estonia and Tartu?
So it's interesting. I think if you take a look at Estonia, the density of unicorns in Estonia per capita, it might be one of the highest in the world, if not the highest, maybe the highest. You guys can confirm if it's the highest. So it's a wonderful startup culture here, and it was also, a lot of the unicorns, a lot of the companies that have started here, the founders have now exited, so they have capital, and they would like to reinvest it back into the next generation of companies. And so it's a perfect time to bring Creative Destruction Lab and our market for judgment and our market for advice at this point. I think the market's ready for it, and everybody's excited to be here.
We have a great pleasure to have here actually the founding father of STARTUPDAY, first of all. And then now is the founding father of the Creative Destruction Lab Estonia as well. So what are you doing here? And where do you expect to reach?
I like the things, build something massive. so CDL slogan is build something massive, and so therefore I was sold for first minute that yes, of course, we have to do it in Estonia. Yes, I actually, it is great you brought this parallel to STARTUPDAY. Actually, we also started with the idea that, oh, let's do something great in Tartu. Now we can see what is it today. So, and I'm quite sure that also the CDL Estonia will be, after 5 years, the known and prestigious program every startup is dreaming about to get in, and also because of course already this year actually, if you look our mentor bench, we have almost all founders of Estonian unicorns. So you cannot get their time elsewhere. So this is the only possibility. So therefore, I think this is a really great thing what we are starting today.
I like the way how you are in the shoes of a startup company, having to have a story to tell before it actually happens. Every single startup has to have a story before to sell it to investors, to sell it to potential clients, to sell it to your employees, to your friends, family and fools. So you have to sell it to everybody before it happens actually. Yeah. So you are in a kind of a similar position, but they have tested it in Toronto. It should work.
Absolutely.
But is it, I wanted to ask, is it like a side activity of Toronto University, or has it had an effect to its I don't know, learning capabilities?
Yeah, definitely. So I think learning is an integral part of CDL, and so inherent in this is that, for example, at the University of Toronto, we have our MBA students who take a formal creative destruction lab course, and they also get matched up with some of the ventures, right? So you can imagine, if you've got a tech founder who's got deep domain expertise in technology but no business experience, and you match them with an MBA student or a business school student, I think in the way that it'll happen in Estonia, it's very complementary, right? So they learn from each other, and so the business school student learns about kind of a deep tech vertical, and the tech-based founder learns something from the MBA student. In some cases, the MBA students have actually gone on to be co-founders of the companies, the COO, work within the C-suite, which is also fantastic. But education is also very important. Clearly we want to create massively scalable companies, but we want to help the universities and the local ecosystems and the students as well.
And this is actually a really nice thing I really like in this CDL system, that they have founders, they have mentors, investors, they also have scientists and students. So everybody will get something from this system. It creates so much synergy, and it is useful. Of course, we are doing it for startups, but our investors will get a really great deal flow where to invest. Our university students will get a lot of experience of those discussions, because very selected students will get access to those conversations between mentors and ventures. So how much there is to learn. So yes. I think this is really valuable program for everybody.
May I add also something? So it's I think also you missed out us scientists
yes, we are
and also the university as because we are learning also a lot from these discussions around top technologies. I mean the latest technologies. How are the market for these technologies forming? What are the user requirements? How it is to fund them? How it is the competition? Everything. So it is very interesting for us, and we are educating ourselves much more than we could ever do by reading journal articles 3 years old, right? So it is, for us, it is also very important. And actually, I'm very proud of Tartu University in this context, because taking on something that is so risky and different from the university's traditional activities, I mean really hands-on, trying to help build companies. This is something that normally it's not traditional university's role. And even if you talk about science, bridging science industry and commercialization, so these kind of hands-on activities are not that common. So I think being within 100 top universities, rather we should also kind of see how many companies we have helped to build, and all these kind of issues. So I think we have a lot to learn from Toronto University, also University of Oxford, who have helped us in the CDL program a lot. Yeah.
I have been thinking about it, that whether it's important to have, I don't know, one business plan competition, or one this type of booster, or one. But if you, for example, go to Silicon Valley, You don't have one business plan competition. You don't have one investment fund. You don't have one company. It's a kind of big fuss of things. Things are happening. And they are kind of overlapping, they are supporting each other, people are overlapping. And the more you have this type of things, the more the place is a center of something. And I think Tartu as a university down from one hand, with a nice river and 30 degrees sun shining outdoor, full air almost, and then the startup day itself, the more we have this type of things, the more we would support each other as well, and at the end of the day, the economy local. Because I mean, in spring we had like a course with Wharton School, Pennsylvania University. We had American students here. So the more this type of things are happening, the more they contribute to each other. Am I on the right way?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And maybe for last thing, maybe Francesco can comment. We haven't talked about that, but also big corporations are one part. So they have to buy a quite expensive ticket, but they have also possibility to come and listen about what are trends and so on. Maybe you can comment this side also.
For sure. So I think as both Kadri and Andres have commented, CDL doesn't take equity in the companies. There's no fees. There's no explicit costs at all. So we're a non-profit, but we do have corporate sponsors, and the corporate sponsors typically pay the sponsorship just so that they can sit in the room and just listen to the discussions. You can think that a lot of these bigger companies. They want to hear what innovative startups are doing, right? And they want to hear the discussions between the mentors and the debates and the disagreements, right? And just and they end up learning a lot as a result of that. So it's also good for maybe even some of the companies that are a little bit more mature and that are not the disruptors. They also find value in CDL too, right? In the local ecosystem.
The time is running, and I'm asking the last question from Kadri.
All right.
And the question is the following. Could you please explain what is creative destruction, and does it have any connection to Mr. Schumpeter, who has to be a great economist and former Minister of Economic Affairs of Austria, as far as I know, before he went to US?
The concept of creative destruction has first been mentioned by Schumpeter, but later there are many guys who got famous based on that idea. But actually the philosophy of changing the industrial structure by renewal of companies and creating new technologies which are destroying the old one, which is the core of the concept. Of course, this is philosophy behind CDL as well. But as Francesco said, it's kind of, there is a room for older companies. Mature universities, like 400-year-old universities almost. So it's kind of not that strict and not that narrow anymore, our understanding. But of course, yes, there is a relation. Answer to your question.
Thanks a lot. And who doesn't know what does it mean in Estonian when creative destruction is loov purustamine? Meaning that they have created a loova purustamise laboratorium in Estonian. Meaning that, do you have a hammer or something as well?
No, but one thing more important. We have many our unicorn founders there, so they have created already something destructive. So now they have exited the companies, and now they came back to create something again and give back to Estonian society. So I think this is, maybe it sounds a little bit rough, but it's very true.
Okay guys, thanks a lot. Good luck with your digital destroying hammers, and hope to see you back next time. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.